PARIVISION's turn to win, or the fact that Crystallis was on Tundra not long ago. On PARIVISION not long ago, sorry, Wagga. This one is going to be spicy with a ton of very fun heroes.
Yeah, we have an interesting difference here in the two teams. I like the contrast between the two teams. We have, of course, the slippery team of PARIVISION, as the panel named it. I would honestly say that they have the harder job with the split pushing and making sure they don't get caught, because the team fight of Tundra is really strong. They have the Kunkka, they have the Phoenix. Doom is great for removing one target, and then their catch is not bad. Kunkka X-Mark is great. Tusk with the shards, Doom, TA traps for Vision. I actually think that Tundra have a pretty good edge here in the draft. But of course, PARIVISION, there are merits to their team. They need to drag it out though. Early game will be, where they might excel in lane, but then it will be stalling tactics for them.
And using all the vision tools they've got, right? I like the point that Winter brings up there. The fact they've got this Slark, they've got this Wraith King with the skeletons, and then pairing it with the AA Tiny for the burst potential. You've kind of crafted this draft against a TA who likes these things through traps, right? That's how she likes to play. Get the vision, go make jumps. So you've got this kind of back and forth in terms of the mid-game teamfight taking, but you're saying that Tundra have the overwhelming strength if it comes to these 5v5 clashes.
Yeah, they certainly have some big power when they get those big, massive team fights going. So playing for objectives, I think they have a bit of an edge, going Tormentor, going Roche. And I do believe that they can force the issue quite well. TA pushes towers really hard and very good to play around those objectives with. Also has a Tusk pairing, which is fantastic for both Roshing and Tormenting. So yeah, I like a lot of what Tundra are doing here. And 33 on his Doom, I mean, he knows his way around this hero really, really well.
Oh, he absolutely does. He absolutely does. An absolute pest. That's why, we've got heroes like Wraith King, Terrorblade, not caring too much about the Doom itself. Who's going to be his primary target? Or do we just don't care about the Doom spell and just look at his item build?
I think it might be similar for, or you mean for DM or for Doom? Sorry, who's target?
I say, who's Doom gonna Doom?
Oh yeah, who's Doom? Well, I think you just take the first best of the course that you can get here. You don't really want to go for the Wraith King, but between getting Tiny or getting the TB, I would be happy getting either of them. You just gotta be careful that Satanic can save people if you don't Doom him. So obviously TB is always gonna feel best to Doom. But he might just throw it on anyone. Early game, we might even see some supports catching that Doom. You just want to get the ability on cooldown. Get some
that AA is getting targeted super hard.
It's like you walk a little bit too close on Slark, feeling cheeky, you get doomed. Gotta take away your healing capabilities.
Yeah. Same as John, I'm a big fan of these kind of quirky heroes, unusual, off-meta somewhat, but 9 classes, he's been the king of these kind of heroes since he's come out onto the tier 1 scene.
He has a lot of flair, very creative player. Yeah, he likes playing the agi heroes a lot of the time, bringing them into the mix. They also tried playing the techies, of course, earlier in the tournament. Didn't work out so well for him that game, but he, credit to him for always trying to innovate. That's the beauty of Dota, in my opinion. There are so many ideas and ways that you can play the game. The Slark support, definitely not completely new anymore by any means, but it doesn't surprise me it's 9 classes playing it.
The little shag bark popped up on our screen. What a little cutie. I missed the courier.
I want to flip your question earlier. You talked about who is Doom gonna Doom. I'm thinking DM on this Wraith King. Last time we saw him was against Liquid on the Wraith King. He played amazing on it. He went for a Radiance Manta build and ended up canceling a lot of the Blink Daggers in that game. And already looking at the game we're in, Doom, TA, Tusk, all big Blink buyers. So he might be looking to cancel some. Obviously, TA has a bit of protection for hers with the refraction, but we'll see how he can play this game. And if it's going to be the same Radiance approach.
Yeah, definitely capable of causing a lot of chaos, sowing chaos in the start of the team fight there. And then you've got things like, Kunkka's Boat, Sunray, to try and keep people tanky and healing them up. Then the counteracting Ancient Apparition Ice Blast. I mean, hell, AA has been such a hero this tournament. It was 80% win rate off of 20 picks earlier on, last day of group, something like that. Has had a ridiculous time.
Yeah, AA is pretty absurd, and it's crazy to feel like the hero is that strong right now, because if you think back, he actually, not too long ago, got a little bit of a nerf. The C patch nerfed him, and the B patch also nerfed him. So he was actually even stronger before this. 738 definitely did him well. And we see these players really enjoy the laning presence that he brings and then the kill potential. Anybody sets up, A ulti flies in. You find a lot of kills with that.
It feels like he really is a hero that kind of is their hinge in a draft, right? It allows you to have multiple openings through your different players to find kills on cores. It just allows that to happen. I mean, outside of the laning stage as well, where he's just a howitzer. Launching this covering fire alongside reflection spam is going to be pretty annoying to lane up against him.
Yeah, it does look like the bottom lane could be tricky for the Doom Tusk. Of course, if A gets caught out, Winter pointed out that, you know, it can be scary when you get close to a Tusk, but overall, I think the lane will still be very harassy.
Already up in each other's faces. Shard thrown by Saxa, get a bit of damage onto Satanic. And Ducalis had already stepped up before the creeps had even met to get a few free hits in. Asserting dominance in lanes, which is exactly what's happening top. Whitemon, he's down. 9 class and DM, level 1 first blood. Might lose the slot to Crystalis though, as he will find the trade.
Good pick there. Didn't expect him to actually get the kill, but Slark, of course, you can't underestimate the impact of that Essence shift hitting into you with the low cost of the stun of Wraith Fire Blast as well. They can commit like this. Of course, the TA untouched, farming quite happily during that time though.
And so it begins. The great tip war of our time. It's always Ducalis and 9 class. Why is it always you two? When there's trouble in town, it's always you two.
Yep. Somehow these supports, they get involved in all these little exchanges. Speaking of exchanges, the meta been popped. 33 can take some hits. Not going to be in the danger of dying, but still getting shoved under tower. Denies coming in as well.
Yeah, the wave approaching. 3-3 is going to be okay with that wave approaching, but yeah, some nice denies on the way through. Means that there's Tusk and Doom don't get any freebies. And Satanic just standing tall with his metamorphosis, forcing a snowball, so mana expended. And
that pulls him far.
Tusk is out of position completely. He's going to get tagged up a few more times, not really under threat of dying, but now this makes the lane challenging. 3-3, is half HP, doesn't really want to step up, so if Ducalis gets a pull, this lane looks real good.
Yeah, they can fall back and pull the big camp. That's what AA is going to try and do as well. He's putting it straight down. Hard to disjoint that for Saxa. Could throw the shards, but not going to commit to it, so now they need to deal with the creeps going in here. He's going to try and de-aggro it and get back to the lane. Be completely fine. TB doesn't want to overstep alone. AA on a de-warding mission.
Yeah, not too bad in the end. Then in that mid lane, Kunkka versus Tiny. What's that, 15-3, 15-3? It is dead even. The double melee heroes in the mid lane just gathering up water runes and hitting creeps.
Yeah, this is an extremely balanced mid matchup. Tiny maybe with a slight edge in the early game, but at level 5, I want to say the Kunkka Tidebringer starts taking over the lane. So we might see a shift in a while. Water rune fighting.
Well, Lotus pool fighting.
Lotus.
Yeah, Ducalis and Satanic inside the pool. 3-3 comes across, but Saxa is a hit away from death. And that's Ducalis taking it. Satanic, quite low, but 3-3 unable to really finish the job there. He does end up with the Lotus, though.
9 class is trying to run away. He's going to be fine, as Phoenix doesn't have dive anymore.
Well, Satanic also took another hit of the Infernal Blade bottom, but he's got 7 stick, plenty of tangos, and 9 class looks like he's also slipped away through that top corner of the map. It does leave DM alone against the TA, though, which gets nasty quickly.
Yeah, it's not easy for Wraith King until he has face boots. Does take quite a bit of damage from the harassment. TA go for no side blades early on, getting the 2 points for fraction and meld, knowing that he's against the double melee lane. Just running up and hitting them is easier. Does have it now though, of course. Level 4, he picks a point.
That's non-stop trading back as best he can. It looks like Whitemon has also managed to get sentries down in both the camps, so they'll have the pulls available to them. Slark deciding to leave the lane completely though. It's past minute 4, so it's not a water rune move. He's actually come in to de-ward. Yeah, I mean, the strength of the Slark. Minute 4 gank? Nah, it's an observer ward kill.
Yeah, it's one of the good things about Slark. He's pretty mobile due to the Barracuda effect, getting bonus movement speed. Even if he doesn't have boots yet, he can still fly in towards mid at 333 movement speed. Pretty speedy. And just by being here, he's making the Kunkka play more defensively.
Even with double braces and wand, yeah. BZM is going to get avalanched, but no one doesn't go for the toss. I guess the Slark was out of range. They wanted to send him over to him.
Yeah, range. The level 1 range is not that far on toss. Couldn't quite get it. If they got it, though, that would have been a pounce and possibly a kill.
Yeah, it could have been. And then because the Slark has evacuated this top lane, DM's starting to drag the waves around. And 9 class can come back across, make sure the pulls will be contested. Maybe contest the wave, which Crystallis has also gathered up by his tower.
Thus far, a laning stage where all the cores are off to decent enough starts. Bottom lane trying to dive, but the TP from Slark. Can they punish Doom?
Turning on to 3-3. Metamorphosis up. The damage looks good, and 9 class just needs to gap close a little more. 3-3 into the tree line. And the Saxa Tusk is going to sacrifice himself, buys a bit of time with the snowball. Whitemon has also TP'd in here. They could maybe get aggressive on Satanic. Saxa dies. Satanic's fine. And 1 kill to the good for PARIVISION down in that bottom lane, but 3-3, the main target, he slips away.
Just barely on the back of the Tusk, getting in between there, preventing any damage output, but that's a lot of attention down towards bottom lane. Wraith King is going to be pretty happy with this up top. Yes, he is farming really well, but Wraith King in a 1v1 will build up those Bone Guard charges and start farming quickly as well.
Yeah, start just shoving things out a bit. Oh, shield rune for BZM. And Kunk are going to feel happy about that grab. All the noise in the bottom lane led to him and Saxa getting the free rune and a D-ward. I'll get the shards onto this Tiny. No one is reasonably tanky. Kind of just threatening his farming speed in that mid lane. Give BZM a nice, easy time.
Yeah, it's not so much a kill threat, more just poking him, dealing damage to him whenever you can. Tiny too much HP, and Kunkka was a bit low mana to throw all his spells.
BZM going to de-ward his own observer mid as well.
Yeah, he revealed that they had an observer because they got that D-ward earlier. So just knows that the Slark would probably make his way around. Wisdom rune coming up and going to be a 1-for-1, no stealing. And as we see in a lot of games, stacking starting to become priority. I was going to wonder which team is going to start stacking up Ancients first. Of course, the team with TA wants to do it, but this has really been the story of this event so far. A lot of attention to stacking up.
Yeah, multiple heroes who can clear it as well. Satanic, he's being eyed up by Tundra right now. Level 5, so no Sunder. Low on the stick charges. They've brought a number of heroes down here with this smoke out of Phoenix and Kunkka. But it looks like PARIVISION, they've figured out something's not quite right, and they'll transfer their efforts up to top. Satanic dips out of bottom, goes to jungle, and Ducalis readying himself for a go on Crystallis.
Crystallis very nicely played there. During the lane, he pulled the creeps repeatedly farther and farther back towards his tower, farming in a safe area. And of course, he wants to tuck in and farm this ancient part of the map. He got spotted by a creep wave, so Crystallis knows he has a guest in his farming area. An intruder, more like it.
Yeah, an unwanted guest.
Well, happens sometimes.
The feeding grounds in that northern jungle.
And
Crystallis is
throwing
like...
down a sentry, actually gets 50 gold from 2 traps as well. Gets the full sentry gold back.
That's
Locking
really
up
nice.
the Ancients, so TA can't farm here.
And a courier snipe that gets rid of the treads. That's just win after win for this 9 class Slark. It feels like him and Phoenix having a rougher time getting their levels. So now Phoenix gets mid for that experience towards 6. How important is Slark's level 6?
I think very important. The hardest part about playing Slark is this early game. You kind of don't really know where to go and what to do. You just run around de-warding and hope that you get some stuff going. And eventually you'll get your level 6 on mid lane probably. But 9 class having a really good time. Only been involved in the 2 kills, but finding a lot of small objectives. Doom,
down at bottom.
Ulti ready. Not gonna throw
Not
for the
going
cost.
to use it frivolously on the Ancient Apparition. And with no one's arrival, Tusk forced a snowball up right under the tier 1 tower. So the final touches of Satanic can bring him down.
That's a move down bottom for Tiny. It pays off immediately, so just getting there and holding strong on the tier 1 bottom tower. I like when Radiant team does this, not giving up, you know, any ground on bottom tier 1, because that tier 1 close to a Tormentor is so essential for the first Torm control.
It feels so much more important than that top dire tier 1, right?
It really
Radiant
does.
wants to
Unless
come
there's
defend.
Night Stalker, of course, in the game, then you have the opposite sort of effect.
It's all topsy-turvy, yeah.
And DM in this game is going to go for the Radiance build. Talking a little bit about the Wraith King item build earlier, he already has committed into the Talisman of Evasion. I spoke about this last time they played, though. If you don't own the early game and you go for Radiance, it can be a bit greedy. If you don't have Blade Mail, Armlets, anything like that. And he is skipping those items. So we'll see how it works out, because this game, I think Tundra are still in a very competitive shape in laning stage.
Yeah, they're the ones kind of readying themselves for these early fights. Yeah, we'll see. I guess this Radiance also ties in nicely with the, synchronizing with the Terrorblade a bit more, who can be a little slower off the mark. And then the Blink on Tiny, of course, after Phase, Soul Ring, Bottle, these little incremental items. It's not going to be there minute 12. It's going to be a couple minutes later than that. So the Wraith King probably readying himself for that 15-minute timing.
Tiny with a lot slower spike than Kunkka, and they're trying to abuse it right now. Putting the Kunkka towards mid together with the support, using Catapult, forcing out the Glyph already. Does not really want to fight into the both combo.
No. And the Phoenix, who's level 6 as well. Yeah, level 3 Fiery Spirits too. They hold on to the tower though. They push them back. And we saw a few moments ago, Whitemon 6 stacks made. I think that's about to pop to 8 now as he gets 2 more. Ducal is trying to build up some in that bottom jungle for no one to come and clear. Not quite ancient stacks, but a nice bit of change there for no one to grab quickly.
Yeah. Now though, with the Glyph used already for mid tower, they don't have Glyph for bottom, and the Siege is slowly just bringing this tower down. As I spoke, this is a very important tower, and 33 gonna be happy to remove this, open up the field a little bit for him. Crystallis. Saw the courier, I think, coming over. He's gonna see it now. It flies right over the tower.
Yeah. The Venomancer, baby. Well, 9 class.
So awkward for him, though. That's time that he's not farming on TA. Just sitting around, he doesn't know if there's more people. It's just a Slark.
Especially when no one shows up to defend that bottom tier 1, right? You're kind of thinking, are they hiding in the fog there or up at top, getting ready to jump me? But PARIVISION thinking, hey, this timing we want to hit is not now. We'll give Tundra this little bit of leeway right here, but we'll get to our timings and make sure we
Nobody showing up bottom. Of course, no one. He didn't show up bottom. The confusion. But he is getting closer to his timing. 800 gold for this Tiny, and he will have Blink Dagger. And there are some good targets for him to jump in on with the AA ulti to follow up his burst. Even the big tanky Doom can go down with just a little bit of help.
BZM pretty happy just to haste run into that mid lane to clear the wave, keep that chip damage going on the tower. Not really under any threat, but now he can pivot from mid up to top alongside this Whitemon Phoenix. Maybe thinking about a wraparound there, but DM had already evacuated. Slark is a difficult, slippery target to go on. And Saxa is going to give him the snowball to stop the Twin Gate play. And then we get into the Shadow Dance Twin Gate move. Oh, 9 class.
Wow. Huge commitment there. Big first ulti for Slark.
Can't touch him.
The Tiny combo. Don't have Blink, and walking up this ramp would be hard without breaking smoke. Doom, of course, revealing that he's farming here by pulling the creeps in, but he does have help nearby as well, as Kunkka wants to clear out the big ancient stack. Wise move not to invade there, but PARIVISION. It's so hard to get away from the idea of committing there. A lot of people will marry the gank, so to say. It's like, oh, we're smoke ganking, we must get someone. But they just said, you know what, this ain't it. Let's back out.
Wait, classic male gamer issues, having commitment problems, right? But it has been a very steady, deliberate game. It's not as if nothing's happening. There's been attempts, little pokes and prods. And right now, BZM is going to give the X boat to 9 class, who has his ulti back up again. But the pounce, it gets blocked up. BZM doesn't allow him to jump to high ground. Forced to eat the Greater Lotus. 9 class low at 100 HP and swipe down. BZM finally getting up on the board. 1-0-0 for the Kunkka. Yes, I'm involved.
Yeah, finally. But he's having a great game, even if he hasn't been a lot of kills. He's 7k net worth, leading the pack, and already going for a Glimmer cape. Blade Mail into Glimmer. Didn't we have the core Glimmers get nerfed, Gareth? What is this? Still got the Glimmers?
Apparently so.
Obviously a pretty damn good item against the AA and against the Radiance that's coming up on the Wraith King. It's gonna be nice to have this item. It's not
pipe.
That common though.
BKB.
Yeah. Normally it is the Aghanim Scepter after Blade Mail, but he's gonna postpone that a little bit. Wisdom Rune. Double Wisdom for Radiant. So getting the experience advantage In fact, AA sneaking in there and stealing.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Nicely done. And currently just sat mid with no one tiny. And this is a duo that could blow up pretty much anyone on the map if they show their faces. But very good defensive posturing from Whitemon. Sits behind the creep wave, doesn't show. While the rest of the team readying themselves behind BZM Kunkka down at bottom lane. It's honestly been quite a surprise, and props to Satanic, not getting caught at all. He's just been down here farming jungle camps, and Tundra haven't really found him.
He's done a good job. There's a nice ward as well down bottom. I think it spotted the wraparound move. Of course, they did smoke up, but they smoked under the ward. So there's a longer move from PARIVISION coming around, wanting to punish the Tormentor.
All the way behind them.
Oh, they're not even going for the Worm.
Gate, though.
They want the kill.
BZM with 3-3, they go up top, you're right. So this AA Tiny to get an observer ward down near the Tormentor and realize there's nobody there.
Coming for the king.
Lane, they go straight for the Wraith King.
He just got Radiant.
The shards. DM does have Radiance. And he's starting to burn the back a bit, and he's quite tanky. No one in with the Ice Blast over the top. Stacks are low. Supernova is there to give a bit of protection in this fight, zoning out the rest of PARIVISION. They lose Saxa as DM respawns and comes back in onto the Doom. 3-3 being focused. And Satanic's Terrorblade coming in from the right-hand side splits the fight right down in the middle. So 3-3 gets isolated and slain. Whitemon and BZM run off to the right. And it looks like Crystallis is able to get out towards that mid lane as well.
Oh, that was a really good counter move and unfortunate timing for Tundra. Literally, the second they gank the Wraith King, he gets the Radiance into his inventory. And I think without it, the fight will look different. Crystallis, quick reaction on mid there, blinking out. But might not be safe yet.
All right, they tossed back the Phoenix. No dive for Whitemon, and they know there's no Supernova. So DM comes back in with a stun and a burn. Phoenix down.
Dire's top tower is
Phoenix down, and the aggression keeps coming from PARIVISION, so it wasn't around the Tormentor the fight develops. Instead, it's around these other objectives going for tower, and they want to slow down the Radiance timing, but not getting it. Now PARIVISION instead going to be the ones who are very happy.
Yeah, they've had really good reactions to everything that's been going on in this game so far. You know, largely in part to 9 class making moves like that, scouting people out. Yes, having to use ultimate, but giving a very good indication he knows where they all are.
Yeah, he also knows where the vision is. He found that ward. He didn't get the D ward on it yet, but he pinged it out. And just by running around as a Slark, he will eventually find perhaps this ward down bottom as well, that's on the cliff. He did walk by it, but didn't really see it. And for a while, he lost his Barracuda. Oh, he's gonna realize now, I think.
On Torment time.
Yeah, a little bit tired of
Ice
this.
Blast coming. Whitemon steps away. Tormentor down. And they find the Observer Ward, which was right behind them, scouting every move.
That was a good shard to get as well. Get the shard over on your Phoenix. Feels very nice to be able to cast that. There's a lot of heroes that will struggle against the mischance this game from Phoenix. Getting Sun Ray spammed on you.
Can't hear you.
How many Yules are PARIVISION buying? Is this, I guess, Kunkka and Doom and Phoenix in the game?
Yeah, AA is going for 4 staff, so he's not going for 1. Looks like. Yeah, interesting to see the Yule Scepter spam this game coming out. It is really great against Doom. And of course, the X-Mark combo is a little bit harder. You can still bait out the Yule, so to say, and then torrent combo under the Yule Scepter instead. But it adds 1 layer of protection.
Can you still, if Kunkka X-Marks himself, can you still use him to keep him in place?
Yes. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah. Yeah, so it's pretty good later on to get Sax at the bottom. He was trying to do some split pushing, but he has no business being down here. Got spotted out. It's very good later on for potential TA pushes with X-Mark, right? TA blinks in, and you can X-Mark pull her back. But if you have multiple Yule Scepters, that's a dangerous play to make.
Yeah, it becomes nigh on impossible. Crystal is not feeling particularly safe over by his Ancient.
Ooh, he's been spotted.
Just never-ending scouting from 9 class. Finds the TA, gives the opening for no one. Crystallis tries to step back with Refraction coming off cooldown in a second. The Sunray will buy time for it. So Crystallis steps back to the tier 2. Stacks are going to get tossed onto him, though. Snowball, it's there forward, but Crystallis already died to it.
And Doom also dropping.
Now in danger. Swiped down by DM, and BZM kind of left on his lonesome. Jumped and tossed, sent back into the middle of PARIVISION. Tundra just ripped apart 1 by 1. 9 class yet again sets it all up with a vision for his teammates to come in and whack them.
You really mentioned it there towards the end. The 9 class impact this game is the huge difference. He is just giving all the information, making the game easy to play for PARIVISION. And PARIVISION, while they have nice team fight, they have good heroes, they're not getting to play. Look, Crystallis dies before the fight even starts, or rather, he's running, right? He's basically useless in this team fight. He can't stand and fight, does go down in the end. And this is not what you want to have from your biggest damage dealer. The TA is supposed to be on people, jumping that AA, getting some kills. But PARIVISION just always one step ahead. And now with Manta Style on the TB and Shard, I think it's going to get exaggerated even more.
Yeah, like how often do we talk about these players wanting to make the first jump, right? Have that primary initiation through vision. So important in these high-level games because you just take a hero out of the fight. You get the numbers advantage. He might not have died, but he was still a casualty. He was still limping back away from the front line.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to try it again. The D ward is only happening now, and Tusk can't actually reach it. Well, he lost vision on his shards, I guess.
Well, 3-3 in the meantime is just dying bottom. Yeah, again, jumped on. Tiny with the help of the Ice Blast. I don't know if Satanic and DM were really needed, but they were there to help out anyway. 9 kill into a tower,
network lead. Going with big advantage with the DD rune as well, and Tiny feeling pretty safe with his Eul Scepter. They can play so aggressively now.
We've not seen Satanic since lane stage. Now he's 202, taking Roche. Manta Dragonlance with like 1.5k saved up in the bank. This Terrorblade is becoming a fearsome prospect to face as Tundra.
Yeah, Manta, Dragonlance, and the Shard, right? The Shard is the most important thing. It speeds up your farm so much once you get it. So even if TB has been having a pretty quiet game, he is ramping up the gold. And DM, just impressive again. Same as last time we saw him on Wraith King. Just flying it, somehow out-farming the TB who has been free-farming. I don't even understand how he does it, man. DM's Wraith King is impressive.
I didn't even look. After I talked, I was like finishing my sentence about Satanic, and I looked at that net worth board, and I was like, why am I talking about the Terrorblade? The Wraith King's the one at the top of the board.
And he's going for the same build that he did last time as well in terms of getting that Manta Style now. So he's going to start bothering the backline, provide even more vision. It's going to be so annoying to play into TB Manta plus his illusions, Wraith King Manta, and a Slark running around scouting you. You're not going to be fighting any real hero. You're just fighting ghosts at this point.
So what do we need from Tundra? If they still want
BZM,
to have this...
It's been locked.
You're right. Trapped down in that bottom right corner. He's going to throw a boat, use his Glimmer Cape, but 9 class is going to come in, cut him off at the pass. Even picks up the kill. So is this going to come down to Tundra like using traps, getting vision on high ground? Like what objective do they play for now though with Roshan dead?
It's very difficult. I think we need to just see them start grouping and getting some value out of the Doom ulti, getting Kunkka together with some other people. They have yet to be the aggressors in any fight.
2 fights happening at the same time. Crystallis up on top, turns with 3-3 onto the Slark. They've got the pesky fish down and out. But Crystallis is stunned up by the Wraith King. No further follow through, while Satanic does pick up Whitemon on the other side of the map. And the other fight was actually them going on the Tusk in the bottom lane, I believe. So they just moved from one lane to the other.
Yeah, and they take out the mid-tier 2, TB going for objectives with this Aegis, realizing that he can just go and get whatever he wants done. So all the tier 2 towers already gone. Tiny hunting for the TA again. I don't think he gets her because he's all alone, but AA ulti could be sent.
He is bloody annoying though, at the very least.
TA no room to breathe.
Does he? Does he know? He's going to avalanche toss the creeps. I mean, wait.
If he knows, why don't the AA ulti it?
I don't think he knew. I think he just wanted to kill the creeps.
No, he was doing that on purpose right there. He was pulling the creeps towards it. I think he sensed it, but wasn't 100% sure. He's close to getting it.
Don't waste the Ice Blast on it.
Yeah.
A nice bit of vengeance for Tundra, at least killing the Slark, who has been an absolute pain in the ass this entire game. He's going to come back around, scout out for any more vision up there. Like, if Tundra need to play around vision to get their team fights going, this Slark makes that impossible. There's only one Dar Observer Ward out on the map right now, and it's in a place which doesn't really matter. PARIVISION are nearing your base. They're taking control of the final third. They're in your Ancients.
Yeah, the fight is not by the Roche Pit. You can't really get there. And at this point, they're almost just choked out of the game entirely. They're sitting in base. They have a lot of tools. They need to make something big with this Blink Dagger. Doom just picked up Blink. I think you need to play around his 20-second cooldown on the ulti and take a massive fight somehow.
I saw BZM the whole way. Tried to get himself into the mines. Glimmercape buys a little bit of time, but no one should come across with a toss. No, they don't have the vision or the reach to get him.
Good spot to TP out. This could be their chance to take a fight. They know the positioning of Radiant at least. As far as item goes, you know, they're pretty close to the Aghanim Scepter, so maybe they want BZM to finish that, but I don't think they can wait. Every second they wait right now, PARIVISION is just farming way more. You can just see it by the positioning on the map. They own the entire map.
BZM, you gotta be careful with these X mark moves. It's very, very dangerous.
Against all the Yule Scepters, yeah.
Slark and Tiny. Both have it. Manta Style coming out for that Wraith King. Ancient Apparition has bought himself the Shard. So another round of items for PARIVISION as they really do just stranglehold this map, cut across that dire base.
Yeah. And to keep control over the ancient areas, TA has not seen an ancient in a long time now. A hero that really wants to farm those big creeps, get the big rewards. Not getting to do it. And Terrorblade, he's about to have Butterfly, man. That Butterfly is going to be uncountered for, I think, the entirety of the game. It's going to be so hard to get an MKB for TA when you're this pressed for items.
Yeah, like she's got, what, a Hurricane Pike to finish, wants a Nullifier. Do you need BKBs on your Kunkka and TA this game as well?
I mean, she might want a damage item over the BKB, just commit for like Daedalus or MKB, but yeah, the question is, can she get that? Nullifier is already costly. Tusk has been set up on.
Pounce into Yules. Sax dodges the Wraithfire Blast very nicely with the Snowball, and Chrysalis waits in the wings for an attempt to go in. BZM sent forward on towards them with a boat on the Tiny. No one's going to run off to the left. And 3-3, he's running around in circles trying to find a target. Where did PARIVISION go? They were here a second ago. Now he has to BKB and run. Tundra, they've realized this isn't their fight to have anymore. Terrorblade breaks up into that Ancients area. They're going to turn on Chrysalis as no one's found the opening. Now an Ice Blast over the top. DM just wandering into the midst of Tundra here. Ice Blast lands, Sax about to fall. A toss forward of a TB Illusions clearing through BZM alongside DM. It is a bloodbath as Tundra get handled. Absolutely slaughtered by their own Ancients. And PARIVISION looking for the fifth. It's 3-3's Doom down and a high ground attempt is to come.
Man, they dominated from the laning stage and just kept on going. And they're going to call GG. They know the game is over. They took a massive team fight, lost it right by their base. And that means they can just lay into it. So no chance for Tundra to turn this one around. 20-3. Yeah, they definitely do. Tundra have a lineup of... We already have a Brawl. One of those moving parts.
Yeah, one of the moving parts is about to be killed. The Keeper of the Light, that first pick, dead as Satanic takes first blood, and they immediately smoke as well.
They wanted to give that to Puck, but saw that he was a little bit too fast for the Puck, so gonna take it on the Gyrocopter. Happy to get the first blood and looking for more, like you said. I really find myself agreeing with what Winter said towards the end there. I was already thinking the same thing, that Ember has to have a good game here. If he doesn't, it will be so hard for their lineup to play Dota.
Give some milk to the side lanes.
Yeah, the milk for the babies. That's what he needs to give, I guess.
You're gonna do it one way or the other. But yeah, this is still a kind of, you know, toxic Keeper of the Light draft with, what, 3 heroes that like being Chakra Magicked? Wraith King, Terrorblade, Ember Spirit, all find themselves kind of successful off the back of it.
It's also fairly true, though, that the more heroes you have that want the Chakra Magic, the less you can focus on one guy and just keep giving it to him. But it's true, he has a lot of people to play around with. Obviously, nice combinations for Saxa, and he has played really well on Caudle. However, the only game he lost on Caudle so far in this event was against Avalus, where they picked Puck. And Puck is extremely good at dealing with Caudle. You get on the backline, silence him, really, really easy. And heroes that can catch and find the Caudle are rare, but can be a big problem for him.
Yeah, that Puck pick, absolutely spectacular spot. We've seen PARIVISION do it plenty of times with that 18th pick, no one Puck comes out, and you're like, what do they have? They've got a Snowball? Is their only stun at that point in the draft? Looked a little bit nasty. I'm kind of curious if, Winter said potentially that Terrorblade could have shifted to offlane to go for the Orchid build. It's not the case here. We'll see how they deal with that puck. And is it just going to be BZM with his Ember Spirit to try and outmatch up no one a little bit?
Yeah, the lane should be quite easy, at least for him, but no one is a very, very talented mid player when it comes to mechanics. I mean, he's been in the game for a long time, but he is playing extremely well lately. And already we can see it, 6-3. Off to a great start, CS-wise.
Yeah, still with that drive. We had Lyrical talking to him earlier on. He's always had an incredible career. No one going back to VP, Vega Squadron, all the big teams back, winning tons of majors a few years back, and now one of the best midders in the world.
Oh,
and what, put him in your top 3?
Centaur?
DM? That tag team, and the damage. And it takes the Centaur down, and Whitemon and Chrysalis eyeing up 9 class as a bonus kill, but he's got a Magic Stick and a Fairy Fire. So he gets past his tier 1 to safety.
Even that is pretty good, though, forcing him to use the Magic Stick, bringing away those safety charges for the Tinker. Great kill for him to get. Top lane erupts very violently. It's a tough lane. The Tusk Terrorblade is difficult to lane into. I think the Centaur has good purpose in the game later on, but the lane isn't that strong.
It's like he's bought himself a ring of protection. It's a rush to the Vanguard. We'll see if 9 class is able to keep him safe up there. And then down at bottom, Satanic 14-3 so far. It's not just struggles for the Wraith King. It looks like for the Centaur, the Wraith King is also having some difficulties getting to lane, especially with Saxa dying earlier on as first blood. And you're also laning into Gyro Jakiro.
Yeah, laning against the Gyro Jakiro, so much damage, and when the Gyro got the first blood as well, that put him closer towards his Falcon Blade, got the blades very early, sent to the lane. Gyrocopter hits really quickly, so your little Wraith King's Bone Guard army, it can be brought down pretty quickly in this lane.
He's pretty damn good at it. We used to see Gyrocopter picked a lot against Enigma as that offlane hero, just clear the Eidolons. Oh, no one in that mid lane. Gets a little bit close, but he's kind of playing the line there. Towing the edge of life and death.
Sentry not gonna find the ward. Radiant ward, stay safe. Both the sentries on mid kind of missing the observers, so both of them are still playing with vision.
And just ever so barely. 3-3 and Sax are continuing just to try and neutralize that large camp. Pulling it back, getting some farm for the Wraith King as best they can. What we've seen from Kottles has been a lot of stacking and just having a lane to himself while his offlane, it kind of goes jungle, right? Is that something 3-3 is going to be looking at here?
Usually that's been the case, but Wraith King is a pretty heavy laning hero. He wants to lane a lot early, and we see him cutting the creep wave. Doesn't want to lane against the Gyrocopter, of course. Difficult for him to do so. And Satanic just chasing him down, so at least the range creep is going to die. It means this pull is kind of for nothing. If you lose the range creep, you can't really deny the next creep wave as easily.
And they've pulled it into the Warpine Raider as well, so Satanic going to get a bit of bonus money. Up at top, 9 class again has stepped forward. Needs to be positioning aggressively to give DM a bit of a free time, but it looks like he's actually stepped away from Whitemon just enough.
He's got boots. Got to watch out for the long-range ice shards. He has no regen on the Tinker. Tusk not going to commit for it, though.
The Tusk sharpshooter just slides out the shards.
He could maybe have dove for that, but he would be taking a lot of tower hits, and it's risky once the Tinker goes in Fog of War. He's going to play on him now, though.
There it is. Straight back in. Kill off the Tinker. I just noticed PARIVISION scanned the right-hand side of the map. They know that Wraith King is jungling now. 3-3 has given up on that lane, and PARIVISION knows it. So they're going to send Jakiro up through the Twin Gate to play aggressively onto Chrysalis with, a power vacuum has emerged in the bot lane. It's Saxa laning alone now.
Yeah, this is the problem with laning into Jakiro, and Gyrocopter being a strong laner as well. Jakiro barely got spotted by the Tusk. So there's no surprise that he's up here. I don't think he should be finding a kill necessarily, but I like the choice to go here and start looking up at the Terrorblade a little bit and say, okay, we can do something to you. Because you don't want to chase a Wraith King in the jungle as Jakiro. You just get stunned and then you gotta TP out.
Yeah, you get killed by the Skellies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just not needed bottom. And I guess he can, if need be, doesn't find anything up top, he can go back and stack, move to another lane. In fact, he's going towards mid. Ducalis a little bit lost, trying to find a home.
Both teams just thinking about stacks and thinking about, you know, improving the scaling.
Economy.
Right now. The runes. Ooh, aggressive silence. Does not get rewarded with a rune. This can be top.
And Whitemon forced to pick it up.
All this attention, though, from the supports running away somewhere else is what we've seen before. Once you leave the lane, the Wraith Kings will find some farm for themselves. He farms very, very quickly in the jungle. Similar to Enigma, as you mentioned.
Under that Radiant Vision, though, Observer Ward just expired, but they saw 3-3 wandering through the forest. Dual Breath into Blood Grenade. That should be enough to catch up here. With Satanic taking him down through that level 3 Rocket Barrage. Quite a lot of damage.
Dies to just damage. No Ice Path and no Homing Missile, but don't need it. Top lane. Tusk again thinking about catching the Tinker, but a bit much. The Centaur right next to him.
Yeah, now we've gone past that threshold where it's kind of difficult to break past DM. He's got the Ring of Health, has his Bracer, very close to the Vanguard now as well. So it becomes kind of unkillable there. As we get the Wisdom Shrines grabbed, 9 class and Saxa on opposing side take it. As there was a bit of an invasion from Ducalis and Satanic, but not quite speedy enough.
They tried, but they were still dragged away by the Wraith King before, so couldn't really reach. Top lane though, Centaur.
Yeah, I thought he was tanky enough to withstand anything up there. With a cooldown landing, Whitemon skips away from it. Crystallis is perfectly fine as well. They go in, snipe the Centaur, and get out.
They got him before the Vanguard, Gareth. He was so close to it. He had his courier. I thought for sure they would have it in time by them going on him here, but he didn't yet have the Vanguard, so he gets brought down by all the damage from the illusions.
And look at Crystallis. With that Metamorphosis still going for a few more seconds, he's down bottom onto Ducalis. Saxa, they can't gap close any further on the Jakiro, and DM's arrival should cut any further aggression short. But now you've moved a couple of heroes down bottom as PARIVISION onto this tier 1 tower, and BZM, knowing this, he makes a move down there, but realizing active rune more important, zips back to take the haste.
Gets a fantastic rune though. Haste rune could be big for the next fight. Even if he doesn't have TP, he can still make his way to it. So if they commit for a push up top, Gyrocopter has to be wary not playing too aggressively.
And this is what Winter was mentioning, right? This Centaur kind of being the anchor on the map. He's planted himself in front of this tier 1, so Wraith King doesn't get the free push.
Yeah, it's a good matchup. You put Centaur against the Wraith King, and the Vanguard is going to protect you against Skeletons really well. You can farm trade down there. It's not the best farm trade ever, but ultimately, PARIVISION have a lineup that's brewing. They're going to come online and start doing things, whereas Tundra, I feel like this draft, it's relying on Ember to create a lot of space together with Tusk.
And so far, BZM is rather quiet. 9 minutes in, 0-0-0. Wanting to change that as quickly as possible, though. Shifts up to top, and they're on to Ducalis and Satanic, but Whitemon's getting blasted. Has to snowball to buy some time as this puck opens up onto BZM. They chase the Ember out of the fight. He's zipped into mid, so you've left the rest of Tundra open to the remaining aggression, but Whitemon up to the high ground. No one. Gap closes onto him. Right on the Tusk's tail here. A couple more seconds until snowball. Not going to happen, though. No one will secure that kill as Satanic takes his courier alongside it.
Finally get him down. Now we have all the heroes positioned for pushing. Caudle gonna do what he can deep pushing this though. Level 3 Illuminate will slow down the push a bit. He'll get rid of the creeps and might actually stop a lot of the push.
Caudle's so good at this deep push, just hiding in the trees.
He has Stampede on Centaur, so he's going in, but Steering Change could be dangerous.
Down to half health. Vanguard going to work. DM
more Steering Chains
get whittled down here. Level 3 Searing Chains, yeah, with his Saxacotl behind him. BZM finally unleashed. Gets his first kill of the game. Satanic killed off by Whitemon and 3-3. They're going to turn back onto Whitemon and kill him with 3-3 dropping low to that Macropire. 9 class and Ducalis have found a trade back. Reincarnation's here, though. Does PARIVISION have backup arriving? 3-3 and Saxa with BZM going to kill off the Jakiro under tower. TP's starting to arrive now with no one's puck coming into the fray. But 9 classes, he's got to bail out on this. No one... What is he? Invis. He's hiding away.
Yeah, he's looking at them. Knows the Wraith King doesn't have ulti, but it's a bit dangerous to go on him. Coil is ready now.
Tundra's not falling for it.
is under attack.
He wants to catch the Ember, but only him and Tinker, they can't really bring down Ember either. So they get nothing. Big moves from Tundra, from getting that Centaur kill up top, turning that into a simultaneous kill down bottom on Gyrocopter, getting the upper hand in these early engagements.
Yeah, swooping in, getting what they came for.
Tower is under attack.
Tier 1
I do
tower
like
still alive,
the
though.
build from 33 as well. Going for the drums in this game on Wraith King, I actually like a lot more than the straight Radiance. It's a bit less greedy, which I think their lineup needs. Otherwise, it would be too slow, but this gives him tempo, makes him able to buff up his team, and of course the skeletons a lot more.
Nine class working on that Holy Locket. I guess to sit mid. As no one wanting to finish his Witchblade, kind of tucking himself in behind, far a little safer.
Scanning.
Yeah, everyone's still kind of working towards their big item timings, with Ember working towards the Mage Slayer. The Gyrocopter does have his Crystallis, so he's got the farming accelerant now. Falcon Blade and Crystallis. Very fast Crystallis timing, yeah. 5 minutes faster than average.
Speedy. 6k net worth about to be cracked by Satanic. 12 minutes in, feeling pretty good about things. And here are those stacks being cleared as well. 9 class, DM, and no one. The trio of farmers.
Tinker has been working on
Tinker's
stacking
so
this.
good at.
It's going to help up the Centaur a lot, get to his Blade Mail, so he will ramp up his farm speed and also have some layer of protection to getting right-clicked and focus down, getting return some damage.
Tower is under attack.
And just be as brawny as you possibly can. BZM poking into that mid lane. Not really threatening 9 class or no one, just making his presence felt. And the Radiant scan will understand that that sweeping move is happening. Ember,
With
Tusk,
the meta,
both
though.
maneuvering into that top tier 1.
That tier 1 doesn't look easy to defend. They would have to TP a lot of heroes if they wanted to. Jakiro tries to split push bottom, but he's going to be caught off.
Yeah, straight in there from BZM and 3-3. Ducalis stepped up towards the tower and will pay the price for it.
Dire's middle
And everyone else in his team just jungling right now. Gyrocopter farming up an ancient stack. The Centaur trying to build items. He gets spotted by Tusk. Know what he's up to.
And they're kind of scrambling to hit their timings. Feeling that Tundra are starting to build up this head of steam. The pace is building pretty quickly.
Radiant's bottom
The
tower.
stacks are keeping everyone topped up.
Dire's mid tower.
With health and mana
Over.
as the Tinker. He's been found by BZM. The skeletons chase forward onto 9 class, but the call down from Satanic. Big rockets landing onto Tundra's heads. Wraith
no.
King, no mana. He can't. He can't respawn.
It's a good thing. He didn't want to have mana, so he popped the Bone Guard, I think, to waste his mana earlier there. When they went on him.
Because he died twice, right?
Yeah. He wants to keep his ulti ready. His team would just not be in time. DM.
Top lane. DM again being run at. Whitemon and Crystallis, and of course the Costal who appears out of nowhere. Mysterious figure from thin air,
Whitemon is
as
playing
the
a
Wisdom
great
Shrine
game.
is there as well.
Going towards the bottom fight. Ember's in. Chasing down
3-3.
onto Jakiro.
Chasing Ducalis. They've got shards to block him. Snowball onto Satanic. They want multiple kills here. Ducalis down, but look at Satanic and no one go. Whitemon gets blown up. 3-3 does respawn, gets a few more hits into this gyro, and they'll finish him off with a nice sleight of fist from long range out of BZM. 9 class now out of resources, but alongside no one, it looks like Tundra not going to go diving too deep. Instead, healing back up under the watchful eyes of this Saxa Cottle.
Yeah, you got the
is
Tinker for
infinite.
heal, but they have the Coddle for heal. Mana, HP, everything you need.
But it's ridiculous. Yeah, you Chakra, you Recall, you Illuminate, everyone's full. You're a roaming fountain.
Interesting to speak about Saxa as well. He is going for the early Aghanim Scepter in this game to get that team fight control. I think very important for his team to get this. It's going to give them some form of lockdown in the fight so they can actually have control over how the fights are going to go. Otherwise, that's where their draft was kind of lacking. Go towards Quick Torm now.
Yeah, here is exactly why we've seen the last 3 fights happen in this bottom right-hand corner around that Radiant Tier 1. It finally gets cracked. Tormentor taken. But PARIVISION, they don't want to give this part of the map for free. They get onto 3-3, Wraith King gone, and the Stampede forward gets this gyro into position to chase onto the TB, but he's gone through the gate. No one with a coil up to the north has found BZM's Ember Spirit, though, and that's a takedown by no one. A double kill for him as they try gate up to top. The homing missile. It's on the
across
TB.
the map. It's coming.
Where is it? Where's it coming from and where's it going?
It's close. It's close. It's coming from behind now, but, you know, nobody else is chasing. So it's homing missile did its job. Died on a raindrop.
Dyer's top tower has fallen.
Poor level 1 homing missile. He did his best.
Nice swift moves from PARIVISION. You know, knowing that Tormentor was being taken, they get into position, some big kills, and again, activating this no one puck, who goes from finishing Witchblade to almost having Blink Dagger now.
Yeah, once you have the combo of those two items, that's when Puck really starts becoming this threat to the backline. Because before then, he can't really jump backline. He would put himself in danger. Doesn't have coil, so Ember is completely fine here. They're just poking onto him. Easily get out. But yeah, as I was saying, once he gets Blink, the Coddle starts to become a viable target for him.
There's so much nonsense on the floor. Robots, the Illuminate, being spammed by Slight and Chains. A lot to contend with. Even just farming a creep wave.
Yeah, mid creep wave, very popular right now. A lot of heroes around there. They're gonna shift their attention to the side lanes. Perhaps don't want to let the Wraith King finish up this Radiance for free. He is 1.4k gold away from it. The downside of the drums, of course, you do get a little bit of a later timing and can be stopped.
And this is where we see the strength of these, you call them janitor heroes or gardener heroes, pruning the side lanes, right?
Yeah.
And Wraith King and Terrorblade very good at, you know, pushing out without really showing anything. And you've got this Tinker who's just vacuuming everything up. Kotl is trying to clear waves at the same time. So it's really a tug of war over the river on this map.
I would say the heroes who send stuff down the side lanes are more like littering, you know? That they're putting stuff there, man. It's Puck is cleaning up. Puck is making sure there's nothing left.
No, it's like, oh, Tusk, coiled.
Oh, it's
snap.
garbage.
He looks pretty dead. You think it's garbage? I think it's like, you know, when you've got wildflower seeds, you know, you go and plant them around concrete jungles and get some nice flowers and plants growing.
I want nothing on the lane. I want a barren wasteland on the side lanes, Gareth.
Come on.
No
I
signs
want
of life.
beautiful lane creeps.
Ooh, TP Pot's the meta here, chasing after.
Ducalis out of there with the help of 9 class and the heals. And what are we fighting over? The shield rune already taken. Ducalis is dead. DM standing next to the Terrorblade and his illusions. Pops the blade mail and walks back. And no one's still chasing forward here. No coil. Just making sure that Tundra aren't able to advance on their position.
And not going to be able to set up really for his team. Difficult for PARIVISION if they can't be all together. But I think their power spike they're trying to play for is not now. The Aghanim's Chrysalis build onto Satanic here. Why do we have Chrysalis and Satanic? You know, we have the most confusing names in a game.
Well,
the
Satanic used to be called
Gyrocopter.
Butterfly as well, huh?
Yeah, the Gyrocopter wants to go for a BKB, and that timing is going to be when they want to take the big fight. For now, the Ags is just allowing him to farm. We should have one more pro
DM should
player called
rename to
Aghanim.
BM.
BM, the Blade Mill.
Well, Blade Mail, Brewmaster, Broodmother,
Yeah, there's not a
Beastmaster.
BM. Or the
It's just
alt
another. That was 9 class and Ducalis' job, I think. Though.
They're the BM.
Centaur gonna plant himself in front of tier 1 mid. Let's soak up the creep waves. Make sure that map space isn't being gained by Tundra. Things.
He's got the full Crimson Guard complete, so ready to block a lot of the damage coming out from the Wraith King and TD once we get those big fights going. But at the same time, Tundra, they're just happy to build away at this, you know, double carry kind of situation. You have the Wraith King with Radiance, you have the TB. Radiant need to hit their timing very hard once they go for it. The BKB and the Crimson Guard, you want to make a lot of stuff happen with it.
Oh, this is such a pivotal moment now. DM under the Will-O-Wisp, shards to block the exit, a slight chains to catch him, but DM, he's reasonably tanky still at half HP with Stampede at the ready, and in the meantime, you know, 3-3 has had to run away. No one in 9 class have held the line. BZM at half health, if he gets stunned, might be in trouble. Gets back to high ground. Tundra holding the terrain to their advantage, trying to poke down to low ground in this river where 9 class... He's under the shards, and Roshan has made his appearance on a scene of the crime where 9 class has died. Now the Stampede gets them onto the Tusk, but immediately running away, allowing no one to go for the second jump. Now 3-3, stuck down in the river here, being annihilated by Satanic. The Gyrocopter shows up, Wraith King down. This Will-O-Wisp is annoying, and Satanic flag hits the ground. Ember Spirit jumps in now onto Ducalis and DM. Terrorblade can keep opening up as well. Has Thunder ready if need be. And BZM is causing issues here for the Puck and Jakiro. Jumping left and right, forcing no one to orb. Back to safety.
Ooh, risky TP. No one not in time with turning around. Had the blink dagger ready. May have found a chance to go on the Ember there, but of course he just jumped out for his own life. The Ignis Fatus from the Caudal having massive impact. The Will-O-Wisp flickering there. Pulling the Gyrocopter in. He was playing the fight really well on Gyrocopter, but got caught out by the second Will-O-Wisp in the fight. It was such a dragged out fight. He kept spamming chakra on himself a lot.
Okay, I'm not crazy. There was a second one, right?
Yeah, he dropped the second one. And it's a 60-second cooldown, but using Recall and Chakra Magic, he cheats that cooldown really hard. So I think it was more like 25 seconds or something for him to get the second one out.
Incredible. A great victory for Tundra, though. Getting a nice 1.5k gold swing, I think it was. Killing that gyro, keeping the Terrorblade alive, super important. PARIVISION now back on the map, trying to find a foothold. But this is a lot of room now for Tundra to get to that next round of items.
Still dead even, though, in net worth. The game is very, very competitive. While you have this double carry set up on Tundra, the Gyrocopter can be the big, be-all, end-all type carry if he gets his items going. He didn't have the BKB in the previous fight. He still doesn't have it, but he's 1,000 gold away. Once he gets that, he won't be able to be locked down that easily. They have pretty much only a Tusk Punch to go through it.
No one is playing so boldly. The complete, utter freedom to play this side of the map, knowing that there's not really anything that they can do to you. 504 Puck, and I just don't see that changing anytime soon. There's no Orchid, there's no Scythe of Ice or anything like that, right? I can imagine Sacks are just going Scythe next item, huh?
There's an Orchid queued up on Crystallis TB, but first he has a Nullifier queued up. So he does not like the saves coming out from Tinker. He is not a big fan of the heals and the defense matrix, particularly.
That's nasty stuff. I'm going to try and jump 9 class, though. BZM with 3-3. Will-O-Wisp on his head as well. 9 class, he's popped all his spells and his mech surviving a little longer than expected, but that Illuminate is enough in the end.
Death
now with
on the tower, though. Can make it dangerous to defend the tower.
Taking a lot of damage, huh? Gyrocopter and Centaur doesn't look like they've got any inclination of joining this.
I like
no one popped the
his itemization. He's going Orchid before the Nullifier. I think that's important. Get that against the Puck. Force Puck to get some defensive item, or just get kills on Puck.
Vying for control over that active rune spot on the left side of the fight. The poking from Tundra has been so good.
Yeah, very good reaction to the jump on mid lane. Get on the back line, get to Jakiro before he gets to do anything, really. And that makes the fight a little bit easier. Same as the quick pick on the Tinker bottom. Getting rid of the support early in the fight. You can see both the teams are prioritizing this. Terrorblade still dealing too much damage. Yeah. Not been able to go for big objectives around this yet, though. We have Roche still alive. TB just now getting his Orchid complete, so I think we might see Tundra just up the pace even more. They have the Blink on the Tusk, they have the Blink on the Wraith King, Orchid on TB, and a full Sanj Yasha on the Ember. I like that a lot.
Yeah, allows them to go very aggressively deep behind enemy lines. Get on top of these supports.
There's just too many chain stuns. Otherwise, Sanj Yasha, kind of weird item on Ember, but I think it's pretty good. You could argue that BKB is better in this game, but it's also a long cooldown that could be abused.
Smoke into smoke. Tundra smoking into Tormentor, yeah. PARIVISION smoked up top. Oh, they're playing towards the Twin Gate.
Oh, they're coming through it as well. Ember's coming through.
Ice Path onto 2
Oh, no.
with the stomp beautifully set up. The Tuskie's going to drop for sure. BZM maybe a chance, not in hell.
The gate. Yeah, they knew they were coming through, and that's just death. They're standing on the other side waiting. Open jaws. A level 4 ice path that does not mess around.
It's the classic Matthew Mercer, you know, D&D DM, the gaping maw. The twin
really
gate
was.
opens up and devours you.
The twin gate is where, you know, leading teams go to die a lot of the time. You think that you're doing well, it's like, oh, we can go across and look for kills, and then you just run into the entire team standing there.
Yeah,
They're
or you
looking
wait
for a
for them up
Roche.
into, you know, 4 remote mines.
Huh? Get a quick Roche on the back of this, though. Gyrocopter gonna be very happy. Get the Aegis in hand. Let's see if he still goes for the Satanic next item, or if he's gonna go for more DPS. Oh,
Wait, he's getting whacked around in his bottom lane. He TP's onto tier 3 and dies immediately. Tundra striking the perfect moment there to get the jump. Now Satanic under Will-O-Wisp still. 3-3 stepping forward onto DM. He's popped his Blade Mail. Doesn't have the Crimson yet, though. Goes back to high ground as Tundra continue this poking back and forth game, which is very irritating to try and commit to.
And
It
Caudal
looks like
already
they
has
won't go for
Will-O-Wisp
high ground
again.
push completely.
With the shard on the Caudal having the 2 charges on the recall, it's insane how quickly he gets the Will-O-Wisp back. The power play. That has to be the saddest power play I've ever seen. 200 gold.
I've seen negative numbers on the power play, so
Oh, you have? Okay, I guess it could be worse. That's what they gotta tell themselves right now.
that's usually when it's like, you know, an Aegis steal or something. The enemy team is going to go push all your lanes. Yeah, not particularly powerful from Satanic there.
It just
And Tundra
did
get
not
to-
expect that they could be camping.
Tundra get to hold this position as well. They stay bottom, play to mid. They want to pressure this tier 2 tower, but Satanic is going to stand strong this time. Backed
want
up by
the D ward.
everybody. Steps up, but BCM denies it.
Cheeky BCM.
This is so disgusting, though. The fact that Kotl is just... You know, when Gandalf says on the 3rd day, look to the east, you don't expect there to be a vending machine handing out free HP and mana, right? There's lembas bread given to the hobbits non-stop. Like, what?
The 3rd day, look to the east, and then look again, and again, because I will keep
And
casting
again.
my spells.
Yeah, now look north. I'm over here now. Oh, west as well. It's
All
absolutely
around
everywhere.
you. It's Gandalf.
Mental.
The healing
Tinker
done.
thinks he's mobile on the map. Absolutely not.
22,000 healing done. That's not accounting for all the mana he's been healing as well. Doing quite a bit of work. He's about to get
Still
the
such a-
level 15 as well. Once they get that talent, get the chakra cooldown, get even more spells out.
Still such a mild lead, though. A 3k net worth at this point doesn't feel like a drastic advantage for Tundra. But it has
It's a
felt
cool
like
game.
momentum has
Like-
been going their way.
Net worth wise though, it's a really cool game because look at the heroes. We're basically seeing like 4 really farmed heroes on both teams, you could say. The double supports turning into cores with Tinker and Caudal having this race between each other. And I think the important thing for PARIVISION is the Puck is having such a good game.
But it's never just the Kotl.
Yeah, the entire team.
Yeah, I saw him from across the room. The Kotl, eyes met mine, gazed at each other, but there were more. There were 2 other people there.
Should we go Blink Dagger just to blink in and catch people? He's going Hex right now, which I respect. It's super important against Puck, but I almost feel like he could just blink and set up as well. Oh, look at the wrap.
Yeah, it'd be great. This wraparound is sick, though. DM, his smoke breaks, no one moves in. Jumps into the back, gets a coil onto 2. A difficult initiation for them, though, as Tundra start to spread out. Sacks it to the south. TB and Wraith King run north, and BZM's going to rejoin to jump onto Ducalis. The Puck gets into that phase shift away from danger for now. Can jump to safety as well. PARIVISION force the hand of Tundra there to fight back and then retreat. So it looks like the high ground push, at least for now, is stopped. But you commit like that, and Tundra are like, okay, fine. We'll farm and stay here.
They're not connecting at the same time in the fight. Somehow Satanic is not really clicking in at the same time as the coil drops down from the Jara there, or from the Puck. You need to have the DPS once the lockdown comes in from the Puck. He cannot really solo kill these people. And
Whitemon.
Pretty quiet game for Satanic, who otherwise, you know, can take over games really hard.
It's just a Tusk, surely. No, it's a Kotal and a Wraith King. Saxon trying to bring in more backup here as they'll trade out Tusk for Tinker. Satanic, he needs friends. No one in Dracalis are behind him with an Ice Path, but fighting into the Will-O-Wisp is awful. So difficult to stand and fight there, and BZM has cut the fight in half. Zones the rest of your teammates while Satanic has to BKB to try and deal with these TP illusions.
Well, he could kill
and TP home, but he's dead. The physical damage is too much.
Just locked down, left on an island there. His team runs away, but Gyrocopter doesn't have the luxury of such mobility. And the lifesteal, not really impressive when you try and lifesteal from these TB illusions. Also, one downside about going Satanic with Revenant's Brooch is that the magical crit cannot lifesteal from the Satanic procs, right? You lifesteal spell lifesteal wise, yes, but his physical damage is not that high.
Yeah, it's not the daedalus Satanic Aghanim's that we've known and loved.
Yeah, no
Gyro
butterfly.
for a long time.
Yeah, he doesn't hit that hard. And now, dead for 40, big push coming in.
That is a massive window here that Tundra will exploit. A glyph used up, but I don't think that's stopping them. They're not moving until they see a buyback or a lane of racks fall. Especially with this Kotal behind them. Everyone full HP, full mana. Drums popped, Metamorphosis used. And the mid lane decimated by Tundra.
Do you go more? Surely you go more here, right? 20 seconds, bottom lane?
For sure. Straight into that tier 3 bot. They can't go top, there's still a tier 2 there. So it looks like tier 3 for now. And then maybe think about your next move, whatever it might be. And Tink is starting to lay down the robots. That's a little irritating, but with TB, they take down at least the ranged barracks in that bottom lane.
They're gonna back out, happy with the damage they've done, and PARIVISION feel pretty bad that they didn't get any exit kills. Nothing really going their way at this point. And in a weird way, it feels like they need the fight to be in their base. Because we saw what happened with Gyrocopter outside the map. He just gets kited a lot.
We have BZM, what was 1v3 zoning the other guys, right?
Yeah.
The Puck Jakiro Centaur, I think it was just being handled by this Ember Spirit.
Yeah, and once he goes on people, he takes away the damage as well. If he gets to hit into the Tinker, into the Jakiro with that Mage Slayer, it takes away their impact in the fight as well overall, just by applying it.
Oh, Satanic steps out of the base. This could be nasty for PARIVISION if Tundra are able to take him down. They poke him to begin with, wanting to elicit that reaction. He has to use the BKB to stand his ground. 3-3 comes in, hitting into DM, but he loses his first life as BZM forced to retreat. Inside this Radiant base, Satanic reigns supreme. A dangerous move from Tundra. They don't get that immediate kill, so PARIVISION can turn and fight. 2 heroes down, Tusk and Terrorblade both dead. PARIVISION now with a bit of wind in their sails.
Wow, he got caught by the supports there on TB. He didn't think they would go down, but the Ice Path out of nowhere and the laser from Tinker brings him down really, really quickly with the Gyrocopter auto attack and spells. He just got caught by one Ice Path, and that was all they needed. He didn't get to Sunder. So quickly they turned that around, and TB just not in time with his reaction.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And now the tables turn. It's a double damage for no one. This is where PARIVISION could get out on the map, maybe bite off a little bit more, get one of these tier 2s. We start thinking about Roshan as a primary objective as well.
They probably thought they were for sure going to win that fight, but good endurance when they get to fight near their high ground on the side of PARIVISION with heals coming in.
Dire's middle tower.
Tundra, they fall back. Still have the gem in their position, so keep the map pretty safe. The fact that Roche may respawn at any point, I still think favors Tundra a little bit as they are feeling happy to fight out in the open. A big part why that fight was good for PARIVISION is because the supports were playing under the safety of their own base.
That's very true. We have so many massive items now, though. Ag's Puck, we've got Assault Cuirass and Wraith King. Massive stuff here to help out in these team fights. I mean, hell, even little things, you know, like Lotus Orb Centaur gets this Puck or Gyro out of danger or just offers them raw protection to walk into the fight.
Lotus could mess up the Terrorblade as well, don't forget. If you want to go for a last second Thunder on someone, oops, it was an enemy and they Lotused it. Could be risky for him. And also an SSD against the Bloodthorn of Terrorblade. You want to have a Dispel, otherwise the damage is too high. Pinging the puck, but not gonna find him.
I mean, puck 707. Again, no one on this hero in this game. He's very difficult to actually kill him.
He's got a DD Rune and Aghanim Scepter right now. He wants to fight badly. No one definitely should be calling for some action.
BZM shows for a moment. They shift to bottom though. Tinker protecting that open melee barracks. They've got a glyph, but I don't know, you don't want to glyph one Rax, do you?
Ooh, the blink.
Tinker, in fact, is just going to get jumped on. 3-3 with a blink in. Will-O-Wisp over the top. The Wraith King's going to get focused down by Satanic now, though, as the flat cannon hits. Launch out towards DM, where he jumps aggressively as well. Got a nice stomp. The follow-through from the puck. Not enough damage to take anyone down just yet, though, and Sax is healing back up. They've got no one killed. Silenced and taken out with no buyback available. 2 heroes down. Tundra going to open the window and say, hello, this is our base now. 3-3 jumps in aggressively. First life gone, but they're on to Satanic. Nullifier, the BKB, the punch from Whitemon, now a snowball to buy time. Satanic does not have the raw damage or the lifesteal to stand his ground. He'll buy back, but he's all on his own. And there are the GGs, tying things up 1 apiece.
They fight back hard, Tundra, with a fantastic game too. And honestly, what a performance here coming out by them. Whitemon was everywhere in the early game on this Tusk. And in the final fight, a lot of mind games going on in the draft here. We'll see who ends up with the better. Do you have a preference between these two, Gareth? Do you feel like one of the teams is in a better spot?
I think the panel are right, and this AM pick was a massive "you've fallen into our trap," you know, trap card activated kind of deal. I think PARIVISION with this empowered PA, I think Medusa doesn't matter. I think the other 4 heroes are strong enough.
Yeah, I do think that's very strong. They pivoted into the Magnus plus PA. Like, that combination is very strong. And of course, as Winter pointed out, the hero matchup is really rough for the Anti-Mage. 33 gonna try and get away. He has the Heart of Battle facet, so it's not the easiest to catch, but the daggers, they're trying.
Slowing him down little by little.
360 movement speed, man. He's running.
He's very fast. Can he cut through the trees and find a way out? Looks like the answer is a resounding no. Satanic lines up the first blood, takes it, and the money to go along with it. Good start for PARIVISION.
Kind of convenient for Wraith King as well. He chased him all the way to the gate and just gonna take the gate and get back to top lane. So not the most amount of space, even though it took a while for him to kill him. It puts them in a pretty favorable spot for DM to just get to his lane. I'm also in agreement with the rest of the assessments here pretty much. I think PARIVISION, their lineup still looks very strong. They have the team fight. They have a carry matchup. Oh, Tinker. Is he going to find?
The Ringmaster getting sliced and diced by Crystallis, but a little ring around the rosy. The Ringmaster himself around the tree gets away from the AM. And Whitemon looks like he's okay to step back in the lane as well. But they will start burning through a lot of this early regen very quickly.
Yeah, a lot of hits being traded this early on. We're going to see a lot of that on the top lane. And I think overall, this lane might not be the strongest, the Wraith King and Ringmaster versus the Tinker Anti-Mage. I think the Tinker will do a good job protecting AM. But later on, AM's game will be a bit complicated. So timings will be more important than ever. He blinks forward, but does not get the kill. Crystallis didn't get the connection on that blink.
Now, Ringmaster a little too speedy. Steps away from it. And down the bottom lane, Ducalis in on top of 3-3. Trying to stop the lane dragging behind that tower from being too efficient or effective. And now Satanic can also join in with a bit of harassment onto Saxa, making this lane, you know, uncomfortable, untenable, basically, for Tundra.
Yeah, if anything, this lane should be pretty awkward for Ducalis to play. He has to pop some mangoes to try and stay alive, but still taking damage.
A vacuum early on from 33. He's going to get them a kill with Saxa's final touch. Now Satanic, ooh, sniped out as well. The pressure suddenly flips on his head.
I think they got a little bit too aggressive, knowing that Medusa is so bad at playing behind tower. They get heavily pressured. Like, she is not the fastest. Yes, she's undulating, but, you know, it's difficult when you don't have mobility spells. Get caught out in the backline like that.
Then you get stuck in creep wave with multiple ion shells.
Yeah,
all gets nasty very quickly.
Yeah, the early point in vacuum maybe came as a surprise. No points in surge. Just recognizing 33, understanding that he has a kill there.
And super important for a hero like Darkseer and I guess Windranger as well, right? This that this hero Darkseer has often struggled in the first 5 levels or so in any lane given. So getting kills and, you know, having wand charges makes life feel real good.
I think him getting levels on Iron Shell early here is going to be super big because PA does not clear big creep waves easily. That's one of her weaknesses as a carry. She doesn't actually shove lane very fast. She does farm well and can sit back and dagger, but I think the bottom lane will be really nice now with the double kill on Saxa.
Yeah, even though Darkseer's last hit's not reflecting it yet, that'll put him in good stead in the next coming minutes.
The mid matchup we haven't talked much about, but can mention quickly that it's a Magnus versus Tiny. I actually consider this to be a heavily Magnus favored matchup. Obviously it can go either way, but Magnus right click damage, you see it already. He has 100 damage almost with level 2 empower. People think of Tiny like, oh, he hits so hard. He actually has less damage than the Tiny right now. Ooh, misses.
And then he does have Shockwave Skewer, but you've got to land it to drag them under tower.
Yeah.
And it's this Magnus kind of runs like a ranged hero, right? You're constantly getting this additional harass that the enemy mid laner, the enemy melee hero doesn't have access to.
Yeah, both.
Like, it makes me think of old DP when she was mid. Like you're clicking, hitting the enemy hero, and you're pushing wave fast, farming them fast.
Yeah, pretty much. You're trying to just deal whatever damage you can, and I think BCM is doing a good job for now, but we can already see that CS difference building up 21-6 versus 14-4. Sure, he has 2 creeps to kill, but I think this is going to get more and more exaggerated as the lane goes on. I've played this matchup a lot of times, and honestly, Magnus is just way stronger in this matchup.
I mean, across the board, you can see it in the last hits. 3 Radiant cores all having very good times. Down at bottom, as I say that, cursing Satanic, or unless gets away behind the trees, and 3-3 even getting turned on potentially. Pops the surge to try and dive under tower. Satanic about to die to Ion Shell in the final punch, but that might have left 3-3 to die here to the Deucer, while 9 class falls on the opposing side of the map.
So bring down 9 class, finding kills. Not too common for the anti-mage lane, but now that Wraith King is alone, he even blinks forward, burning down his mana. And looks like we're going to have an early Halberd build coming out from Crystallis. So not going for straight Battle Fury build or anything like that, which I think is wise. This game would be pretty greedy if it just goes Battle Fury. But he realizes if he's strong and can fight early, and there's so many good targets to Halberd, I can see this working.
Yeah, there's been long periods with different AM builds, right? The Battle Fury Manta style is going to be the age-old build everyone thinks of. But we've had plenty of time where it's been Vanguard Rush, or getting these stats items to actually fight early on, rather than be the AFK 3 AM split pusher.
Yeah, I would argue that Vanguard is back to being better than ever with it upgrading to Halberd for just 900 gold. You get super high value on this item nowadays. It does slow down the timing for him carrying, so the only thing concerning is if PA gets off to a really good start, AM could have a tough time catching up to that.
Yeah, it will be empowered PA as well, right, as the game moves on. Ringmaster going to come into mid, 6-minute rune, no one bottles the illusion, and BZM lacking the mana to really make a play onto that Ringmaster, so 9 class perfectly fine. We'll start tracking back the Tinker as they return to lane. I can hear no one fake pumping the reverse polarity in that mid lane as well. He's saying, BZM. Well, what you doing?
Every time you step up, a little flashbang from Magnus. Keep you on your toes. Top lane, Wraith King trying to trade into the anti-mage. Doesn't have any mana on Wraith King. Oh, nice reflection.
He's got Soul Ring, but I don't know if that's going to help him. Yeah, using all those stick charges early on, tried to pop the Lotus, but now it's Crystallis' turn to tip them back. Because at the start of the game, they were tipping the AM.
Yeah, I think throwing stun at any range to an anti-mage as Wraith King is kind of asking to get reflected spell, though. Unless he has cooldown on it, it's always going to get reflected. But he found out the hard way that indeed he has put 1 point in counterspell. He could already have told that, though, by just checking his magic resistance.
Limit testing.
Yeah, I suppose.
To figure out. Crystallis, you got it in you. And he does. Satanic. On to Saxa, forcing that early wind run. Gorgon's Grasp not going to land this time. And we see the kind of classic 3-3 offlane move. Get into jungle, farm a few camps. Minute 7 comes, so you protect that Wisdom Shrine at the same time.
Yep. I think we're going to see Saxa stack up the Ancients, and we might see the ranged Iron Shell farming Ancients as well. This leaving the Darkseer to lane. She should be heading over there and getting the next stack again. We see 70-40. She's already making her move.
We saw Satanic gets the wall dropped on him. It's 3-3, just applying pressure.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Make things a little more annoying in that bottom lane. And mid,
Towards the room
Magnus
control.
getting a bunch of stuff thrown at him, and that power. Oh, I thought that was about to land.
Yeah,
No
the
one
range,
thankful to
but
survive. 9 class, he's the one that's going to die up at top.
this Anti-Mage having a very lovely time on top lane. Wraith King already abandoning lane like we saw previous games as well. Likes to farm the jungle, same as 33 did. But yeah, just run him down the slow.
And pop with the Mana Void.
But now Tiny's eyes are open with the haste rune. He wants PA.
Yeah, now he's got Soul Ring, so plenty of mana to play with. Shackle shot for that chain stun, but in comes no one. Skewer into RP. The follow through from 9 class with the whip, cracking it onto Saxa. No one trying to punch through them with Satanic jumping over. They get the Wind Ranger kill, but now the PA out in the open. The Ion Shells and Avalanche make short work of her, and BZM with 33 onto 9 class now as well. A bonus kill, and maybe more. No one needs Ducalis to come in hot. Stone Gaze and Mystic Snake, that's irritating. No one is very low though, and 3-3, he's hungry for this kill. Shockwave, it's gonna move him around. The Avalanche can hit the Deucer, but not the Magnus. No one running back, no vacuum. Surge in 3 seconds.
Could be fine.
But Magnus, he does survive.
And Wraith King TP down here. Can he get
He's
the stun
coming.
on Tiny?
No.
Oh, the Avalanche.
Good Avalanche, Shockwave misses. DM might still, no, can't
He
find
walked
it.
over a ward, but gets the D ward on it quickly as well. This is a costly rotation. Wraith King coming down here, not getting a kill for it, leaving the Anti-Mage to free farm. This is the kind of stuff they need on Tundra.
Yeah, a quick turn of pace where all of a sudden Tundra have multiple heroes in that bottom lane. Kind of catching PARIVISION off guard, who normally we'd see PARIVISION react perfectly, right? We've cast their games before. We've seen how, especially around their safe lane tier 1, they love to bring numbers to defend Satanic. Not able to do it here. And 33 again, slipping away from their grasp.
These guys, they fine. I do like the attention by Tundra to throw rotations down towards the PA though, or PA. Tempting to bring down the Vanguard Darkseer. Might have overstepped.
Yeah, Crystal is now rotating, making his presence known. But
I thought it was Tiny coming in at first, but it was just Anti-Mage TPing in, so no real lockdown.
The Vanguard Anti-Mage still going to jump forward though. Satanic with the Phantom Strike of his own. Gets the creep wave, but this has now left Ducalis stranded completely. Gorgon's Grasp slows down his death, while no one in the mid lane actually nearly dying to the Tiny. BZM with a toss gets the kill on Magnus while the Deuce is dying bottom lane. And Saxa, yeah, killed by 9 class. DM arriving here onto the Tiny is BZM, the tanky fellow with a few wand charges and an Avalanche, might be able to create enough of a gap that the Tinker can come in and save him.
The random centaur stomp because 2 Wraith King skeletons were on the centaur, and PA, who was trying to go around to get the dagger onto the Tiny again, cannot keep him close because she gets stunned by neutrals. Just unfortunate.
That's lucky.
I mean, that's how it works sometimes.
But a 4K lead, 5 kill lead for an anti-mage team? That's pretty incredible pace that Tundra are bringing to this game 3.
They're doing really, really well. The fact that top lane went as well as it did was important, and their attention now, as I mentioned, going on PA, because this is a free PA game basically. So you need to shut her down early game, otherwise she will be unstoppable once she gets her items. So all the attention should go towards her, and they're doing the right thing. At the same time, they're also stopping the stacks on Ancients.
Yeah, and this map gets pretty small now for the PA. And she wants to be farming and powered up, but you can't farm bottom, can't farm mid. These tier 1 towers and the Dire Observer wards making it very difficult. Uninhabitable down here, especially with Tundra's, what, 3, 4 heroes? All in the area.
Oh wow, I like what Crystal is queuing up. The Radiance, Vanguard Radiance Anti-Mage coming at you hot. I honestly don't mind it at all. It's a lot of right-click heroes on Radiant.
Oh, yeah?
You know, Battle Fury kind of sucks here. Radiance, new meta, let's go.
Was this one of yours, or was the Void, right? The Vanguard Radiance Faceless Void was
Vanguard
your...
Radiance Void was my creation. I didn't necessarily do it with Anti-Mage, but you know what? I'm here for it.
Goodness gracious me.
That was a good thing that got me to 8k MMR back in the days. First time hitting 8k. I got 25 reports, but I also got 1,000 MMR, so you know, I'll take it. Sometimes in Dota,
value.
Getting reported doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It's just you're doing something people don't like.
Reports and bans are just another resource that you've got to use. You've got HP, you've got mana, you've got your time and your MMR, but you've also got the reports and the bans as well.
So true.
The behavior score resource. That's what we all dip into when times turn bad. Stocks are crashing. Just get your behavior score up. That's all that matters.
Speaking of resources, I think the timing they have right now on Dire is massive. Ooh, what a shackle. The tree right behind him. But PA better target.
But they're going on the PA with BZM and 33. Satanic dead. Gone for 30 seconds. No one's Magnus is here with a reverse polarity, but again, the follow-through seems lacking. They've got the Wheel of Wonder and Ducats with the Stone Gaze. The toss forward, they're allowed 3-3 and Sanks to clear out no one's Magnus. BZM is fine. Not even a scratch. Turns on the Ringmaster with this Wind Ranger and Darkseer. Ducats out of mana, so he's about to die shortly. And it is just turning into an absolute bloodbath down here. PARIVISION, again, walk into this meat grinder, and Tundra all too happy to turn them into sausages.
Yeah, they're getting tons of action bottom. Meanwhile, top Crystallis is putting the pressure on. The Wraith King, despite his little army, cannot defend and stop the Anti-Mage. He has the evasion from Talisman, and he has the Heaven's Halberd, so taking virtually no damage from all these little skeletons.
Literally unkillable.
Yeah.
Easy wisdom trying for him.
They played this early game in a beautiful way. If the plan was to bait out the Anti-Mage and punish it, then it really didn't go your way, but when the Anti-Mage had a free laning stage, basically.
So Vanguard on every hero is what I'm hearing.
It's a pretty damn good item, Gareth. It's pretty damn good.
PARIVISION, no Vanguards, losing the game. Tundra with
Vanguard
2, winning.
Before the Vanguard Medusa.
Oh my god.
The most cursed thing ever.
I don't know if he's got enough space or time to get there. Blown up completely, and this Ringmaster and Magnus find themselves in a spot of bother. They've skewered Crystallis into the base, but he's happy with that. Turns and slays the Magnus. This game might be over soon. We're 15 minutes in, and Tundra are diving tier 3s with this Halberd Anti-Mage.
He uses a ulti. Nice.
Oh, nicely
They thought
done.
they left him for dead there, but he conjures the mana out of nowhere with the Soul Ring and Stick. So, you know, minor victories. He stays alive, but now he doesn't have ulti for 170 seconds. And Radiant are the ones just unable to bring enough heat to the battle this early on.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Now we're waiting for Battle Fury PA now. PARIVISION, I've got to try and pick up the pieces.
I think an important puzzle piece is going to be this Darkseer as well. Already having Crimson, almost has the pipe. He's going to make everyone unkillable.
Look at the wall.
See Radiant moving together. They know they need to get combinations going. The Wheel of Wonder, the RP, you need to find these spells working together. But I don't think they can get to a Tormentor in time.
And even when they had a good RP into Wheel, they just don't have the damage yet. There's Medusa's a pulse 5, right? So you don't expect it from her, but the PA's also not ready.
Crimson and level 4 Marcher machines just being spammed, so it was hard to bring anyone down. And that's a free shard going over Wind Ranger. Honestly, a pretty fearsome shard when you're on the back foot like this. 13k gold behind. This shard can help you catch people. Speaking of, Crystallis, he can't slow the Medusa, but he can take all her mana and her life.
Down you go.
Even using her to farm the creep wave. Easy.
And yeah, especially on this Wind Ranger shard when PARIVISION are relying on these initiations, resets as well. You're not going to give Magnus and PA or even this Medusa with a Stone Gaze the ability to reposition in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, Magnus has Blink Dagger, but that's about it as well. Wants to get a fishing under a tier 2 tower.
Yeah.
Right now, look at the entire net worth of Tundra. Every single player is ahead of 4 players of PARIVISION. It is lonely at the top for Satanic in his team.
It is. I was going to say, quite often we've seen Magnus and, I guess, Wraith King to a large extent be the big farmers in the game, right? We've had offlane Wraith King be the top farmer. Magnus from a core position very often just outstrips his opponents. But now they're down and behind. No one is going to get an RP mid, though, onto this Tiny. A good snipe on BZM would be massive for them, and they'll get it. Crystallis blinks away, but Sanks has been left here to get stunned up by the Wraith King. 33 with a vacuum wall. 3 of them caught up inside of it. Gorgon's Grasp going to root the darks here for now. A stone gaze for protection. The reset from PARIVISION tries to reinitiate here with DM jumping Saxa. Wind Ranger's low and the daggers keep flying from long range, but they've got heals and sustain. They blow up Ducalis. DM now low with no ulti available. He's going to drop as well. 9 class gone. The chase is on. No one and Satanic going to try and run. Crystallis is on their tail, hunting them down. No one blinks away, but Satanic, he's spotted. Phantom Strike to high ground is ready. No one is in position. They'll get back to base.
This is also what Halberd allows him to do. Aggressive blinks, chasing after a PA. That could sometimes be dangerous. He just turns around, blinks you, but having the Halberd, he has no fear at all. He knows they can just keep going. Of course, he had his team behind him too, so unlikely to get turned on, but this is going to be Radiant's timing for Anti-Mage. Finishing it up just now, 18 minutes. PA.
I've forgotten he's going for the Radiance.
PA under March and Tiny combo. 50 HP.
9 class died as well.
He can
PA. Oh, vacuum back. 33's about to get her. Satanic gone, dead for 40. And the rest of the fight going Tundra's way as well. Crystallis is on Ducalis. And Medusa quickly dispatched with 9 class dead. And it doesn't feel like PARIVISION have had any answers to this Tundra lineup. 6-24. A 16k lead, and it's got vibes of game 1, just the other way.
I mean, there's something crazy about picking Medusa Wraith King first phase to try and bait out Anti-Mage, and then you just lose to Anti-Mage because he's Anti-Mage against those heroes, and you can't fight him. It's not all about him, of course. I think a lot of it comes down to Darkseer in this game, in fact. The Darkseer just having so much tempo with his Crimson Guard build. He has allowed them to go for these aggressive dives, but the AM still effectively counters at least 2 of your heroes really, really hard, and Ringmaster doesn't like playing against the AM.
They are pinging 33's Darkseer.
Yeah, he's in there.
I don't know if they're pinging him to say hello, or...
He's just taking that wave, and there is nothing you can do about it. He took the wave, pulled it mid.
Nope. And I'll take the tier 2 as well. We've got the Wraith King farming camera. Very nice.
Big. The farm speed of a blade mill only at 20 minutes.
Oh, look at
not
BGM.
that rapid.
Good little whip crack there from the Ringmaster, but it's never enough to save your Medusa. Now it's tier 3 tower falling pretty quickly. Tiny goes to work yet again. A blink, avalanche toss. Ringmaster dead, but a 3-man RP. No one drags them back into tier 4s with a glyph going. DM with another stun, but they just don't have the follow through. They have run out of gas already. It's 20 minutes in and they call GG. Tundra take the series, a 2-1 victory over PARIVISION. And this just has to come back to the draft, doesn't it? You said it. Wraith King Medusa, the trap card flipped on its head.
Honestly,